And we have a special guest with us today. And so, here to offer his thoughts on National Indigenous Peoples Day is Pastor Roma Fisher from Faith City Church in Northern Ontario. So, welcome to the show, Pastor Roma. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me today. It's a privilege to be here with you guys.
Yeah, it's so great to have you on and share with us. And so we want to know, what does National Indigenous Peoples Day mean to you personally, and how do you celebrate it within your community?
Well, it's a time of celebrating our uniqueness and our contribution to Canada. And it's time to be proud of who we are as a nation. And so we try to do that by celebrating within different Native communities in our cities and different regions of across Canada, just to get together, have gatherings, celebrate our dancing, our art, our food, and just to celebrate who we are as a nation. And it's a great time for our First Nations across Canada just to celebrate that.
It is a day of celebration, but it's also a time for reflection. So what are some of the challenges that Indigenous communities still face today, and how do you believe that we can work together to address them?
Well, there's a lot on the table in regards to, we've been so, probably not functioning as a nation for many, many years because of the colonialism. And so that has really done something against our people as far as really celebrating who they are. So we're trying to regain that status back of who we are. So there's a lot of challenges socially. I'm thinking about some things right now, like incarcerations is high among Native people across Canada. The suicide issues, addictions is really high. Of course, the different other social issues like housing, adequate, even drinking water in those areas. So it's been difficult in those ways. So we're challenged with those things as a leadership in our nations. And so myself as a First Nations man, a leader in my own community, I'm also a proud member of Long Lake Reserve 58 in Long Lake, Ontario. And so we're trying to, fix those things and help each other and help other nations as well, and take leadership and solve some of those problems. Like policing is one of the huge areas as well that we're looking at right now. Right. Housing is a big, big matter. Of course, not to mention the thing had to do with inequality things like racism and those kind of things. So we're really challenged right now. We're still being challenged.
Yeah. So given that, how do you see we as Canadians can honor the perspectives and experiences, even current experiences, of our Indigenous communities?
Well, I think, with the reconciliation strategies that are being employed right now, I think one of the things is to really accept the First Peoples of Canada as uniquely as they are, as we are. We're the First Peoples of this land, and to work alongside with us. So we need to share resources in the land, and take the land back where we need to take the land back, and give us the compensation that maybe Canada has taken advantage of in terms of the land and all the economics that arrive through those. So that's what we're hoping to accomplish in a lot of areas. So it's that land means so much in many ways to our people.
So can you share a story or tradition from your Indigenous culture that you feel is important for Canadians to know and understand?
Well, I think one of the unique things about it, when I think about my own parents, my mom and dad were very traditional. They live off the land. My dad spent all his time hunting and trapping, and was really survived our family through that. But my mom was a long-term residential school survivor, and she went into the residence when she was a little girl. So Canada, with its policies, took all the children and placed them in these schools under 16 when they were, just little childhood, and they spent most 10 months a year in schools, and that really affected a lot of families. And so, I think about my mom's survival. She was a strong woman, and I'm proud that she said, that she survived it. She showed us how to survive. My dad was a hunter trapper, and so I want to, just emphasize about surviving the whole problem with the colonialism. So I think that kind of stands out to me the most is that we're still around and we're still here. We're surviving as a nation, and I thank God for that. I praise God for what He's done in our lives. My mom and dad were both Christians later in life, and so we all became Christians, and we survived all the stuff that my mom really suffered trauma really hard, and it affected all the family. So we're surviving.
So, given that, what hope in the last 30 seconds that we have, what message of hope would you like to share with our viewers who are watching?
I think celebrate with us our uniqueness and the fact that we're resilient people, we're strong, and that we're going to work together with the rest of Canada to make this a great nation, and pray and believe God with us that we can go on to the next millennium.
Praise God. That's awesome. Thank you, Pastor Roma, for sharing your story and sharing your experience and sharing the culture and heritage of Indigenous people. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.